Hi there, and welcome to my silly little crafty adventure. Today is going to be a fun little video for the new year. It is in fact 2023, and I personally have some fiber arts resolutions, goals, plans, and I thought it would be fun to sit down and share them with you. I'm so sorry the camera just shook. That would in fact be Miss Bip. So yeah, I wanted to make it very clear from the start of this video that what I'm going to say is my personal goals and resolutions for myself. There is no projection of that onto anybody else. These aren't standards, these aren't expectations. Fiber arts is what you make it, and everybody has different lifestyles and different ways they enjoy doing that. So this is just purely personal, and I just wanted to say that so that nobody feels that they have to live up to anybody else's methods of crafting and creating. So now that that's out of the way, my first resolution is a little bit of a wild one, a little bit crazy, but I would love to knit more in the coming year. I learned to knit before I learned to crochet actually, but I preferred crochet at the time. This was like 10 years ago. And over the years, like I've knit here and there, but it's only been like a square. And then I made one little cat toy that learned kind of the knitting version of increases and decreases. And then I jumped right in and I made knit socks, and they turned out great, and I loved making those. Like that was so much fun, and there are so many cute sock patterns out there. I'm in love. So for Christmas, I did in fact ask for and receive, which I'm very grateful for. I'll show you. I got these beautiful Knitter's Pride ginger interchangeable needles. Honestly, it can be a little harder to get into knitting, I feel, than it can to get into crochet, because for crochet all you need is the appropriate sized hook and yarn. But for knitting, there's so many variations of the same size of needle. You can have corded, double pointed, straight needle. If it's straight needle, there's different lengths. It's a little harder to get into, in the sense of like with crocheting, you could buy a pack of hooks and do like any project. But with knitting, I found that I couldn't really dive into the learning process without either A, like investing in a bunch of different needles, or B, getting an interchangeable set, because so many patterns call for different sizes of cord, needle, whatever. So I'm really excited about that. I've already knit myself a cabled beanie because I also asked for cable needles for Christmas. It's a big knitting Christmas, all in all. And so my resolution for the next year is that I would love to learn more about knitting, knit more. I would love to like make a knit sweater, but like don't tell anybody because I might not do that, but like that'd be cool. I really find cables very beautiful. I find the drape of knitting beautiful. So yeah, I would love to do more of that in the coming year. My next resolution has to do with my current projects. There are two patterns that I currently have in testing, and testing is hard, man. These are the first two patterns I've ever had tested. This is the first clothing pattern that I've ever created and looked to publish, and it's definitely difficult. It shows that I was a beginner because, especially with clothing, understanding the sizing, understanding what needs to be in proportion to what, it's difficult. And honestly, managing tester groups, that all is difficult too, because the fiber arts community is a beautiful place, but there are people who do not bring that beauty into the way they interact with pattern designers and things. And so there's definitely people there to take advantage of pattern tests, and that's really hard to deal with because it might not make a big difference to those individuals whether they get the pattern and don't do any of the work, but it definitely makes a big difference to the designer because your whole pattern's impacted, your whole testing cycle's impacted, your release date's impacted, your finances are impacted. So it's very difficult, but my resolution and my goal would be to publish those patterns as cleaned, precise, and accurate as it gets, and to publish those hopefully by the due dates. So yeah, I think it's very doable. The only reason that I'm not setting goals for more pattern publishing is something I will explain in a minute. My third resolution for my content creation in fiber arts is to increase the quality of everything I put out there, is to really make sure that all of my YouTube videos, Instagram posts, patterns, reels, stories, the community I'm building over on Instagram and on here is really something I'm very proud of, everything I put out, and something I love watching myself. I find entertaining, and I feel that way now about what I put out, but I think the more you do something, obviously, the better you get at it. So the more I make content, the higher standards I have, the better I am at it. And so my goal for the next year is to always be increasing the pride I take in what I put out into the world, because that really matters, you know? The reason that I won't set a resolution to do a certain schedule or a certain number of videos or a certain number of pattern releases is twofold. The first part is just in general, my love for fiber art will always come before my current love of social media and the community it brings. So if the social media ever takes the joy out of creating for me, whether that be because of pressure or getting burnt out or simply time and energy limitations that I want to be putting towards creating. So I don't want to set the standard and set myself up to not give myself the grace of keeping my hobby a hobby and not making it work if that's what it starts to feel like. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the social media aspect of it and I really enjoy that. But if that were ever to not be the case, that would definitely not be something I made myself be so disciplined in. I also just simply don't know what my life will look like for most of this year, because in 4 months, not only do I leave behind the college girl schedule where I have the most free time I've ever had in my life, I am starting full-time clinicals with classes on top of that, as well as I'm getting married. And so basically my whole life changes, and I'm so excited for that, not only in my career, but in my personal life. My husband was the one, not my husband yet, my fiance is the one who encouraged me to start all of this. So that's been really cool. And I just know that, you know, 6 months down the line, I may genuinely not have the time of day to make a YouTube video every week. I don't know whether that will result in one every 2 weeks, one a month, one whenever I finish a project that I filmed about. I don't know what that will look like. And I don't want to set a standard for myself. Again, that takes the joy and the freedom out of my hobby. My last resolution has to do with my technical skills, the quality of finished product that I make, and I gotta be honest, it started in the end of 2022, but I started really enjoying taking my time and finishing a piece, in perfecting a piece. Over 2022, I have become the girl who will unravel an entire sweater to fix a mistake in the first row. Obviously, if there's no other way to fix it. And honestly, kind of love that for me, because fiber art is art. And I think that anything I make with my hands is a work of art and an expression of myself. And I don't know, I really like the Okay, the perfectionism sometimes is a little annoying when I feel like I have to fix everything, but genuinely the professionalism, the technical skills, so sorry. Basically what I'm trying to say is that I really like, I'm growing the desire within myself to create a really finished, polished, perfect garment or accessory or whatever I am making. And I really like that. And I want to continue working on the technical skills that it takes to do that in 2023, learning different methods of weaving in ends, sewing, getting better at sewing, getting better at, you know, fixing stitches, different things like that. I think that as I get older and I really take my hobby, I guess more, not more seriously, but more like in an adult way. Like I want to be very good at what I do. So anyways, that's my last resolution, is learn to like be more professional, more polished, learn those skills, get better technically. That's really exciting to me. So yeah, those are kind of my 4 goals, resolutions, plans, hopes, and dreams for this next year. I tried to be gracious with myself when making this while also pushing myself in a way that brought me joy. And I hope in all of these areas I can grow and improve. And yeah, if you have any of your own resolutions for the new year, fiber arts or whatever that you'd like to share, definitely leave it in the comments. Maybe your little resolution could be to subscribe to me. That would be cool. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see ya.